Y'all remember when I talked about how Usopp versus Luffy was the greatest conflict in One Piece? Well, 3 months later and after arriving at Whole Cake, I have finally found an even more perfect conflict. Or I guess we'll call it the greatest conflict in One Piece. That being Luffy versus Sanji. And like in the previous video with Usopp versus Luffy, the masked man managed to clutch up and feature on the channel. And if you guys want to go and check out his channel, I'll be linking that in the description. Now for context, Sanji is forced to leave the crew in order to go and marry Big Mom's daughter, reason being because Big Mom needs the Vinsmoke clout and the only way she can obtain it is if Sanji marries Pudding. That way the other Vinsmokes are around also, allowing Big Mom to kill every single one of them for her own personal gain. Oh, and if Sanji leaves, by the way, he will have his hands blown up, meaning he's genuinely stuck on Whole Cake. Luffy, being the great captain he is, isn't going to let Sanji just walk away and goes out with some of the Straw Hats to go and save this man because he's part of the crew. And no man will be left behind, no matter what. After a long battle with one of the sweet generals, that being Cracker, Luffy finally comes face to face with his crewmate. Unlike Luffy versus Usopp, where both fighters agree to a duel and it seems a lot more legit, Sanji straight up gives the opposite energy as Luffy. Luffy is straight up happy to see Sanji and he says that they're gonna get him out of here, but as soon as that happens, he just gets kicked in the face and calls him a pathetic pirate who needs to pack his bags and go. Now Sanji doesn't mean this obviously, however the other Straw Hats except Luffy aren't aware of this at first due to how believable Sanji seems, but Luffy naturally can tell that he's not acting like himself and refuses to fight back, taking every single kick Sanji dished out. After Sanji and Luffy scuffle, Nami comes in slapping this man, showing full circle how bad things got for the Straw Hats. Usually you only see Nami slap Sanji or any of the Straw Hats in a comedic manner. This is the first time where Nami slapped Sanji and the chills just go straight to my spine. And somehow this fight becomes 10 times more emotional thanks to Luffy's speech. Luffy screams at Sanji that he'll wait in this exact spot for Sanji to come back, conveying as well he is not going to eat any type of food that isn't cooked by Sanji. And we already know how Luffy eats, so he's just going to be standing there here for his friend, even if it means his own death. And so Luffy would stand up to all of Big Mom's goons, waiting in the same spot, keeping his promise. And what's beautiful about this whole scene is how it ties into Sanji and Luffy's second encounter, which is after Luffy at 1 HP fights all of Big Mom's soldiers, waiting for his curly-browed cook to come through. And luckily Sanji does, and on his way to Luffy, we see how the food he made for him is a bunch of the crew's favorites, and he even goes through wild wolves just to get the food to Luffy.
And by the way, before this, Sanji just found out he's getting played and is going to die at the wedding. And even when Sanji kicked Luffy's face in more times than I've kicked old people down the stairs, Luffy's first instinct is to try and save Sanji from getting played. Now with that side detail gone, back to the video. Sanji and Luffy face again with Sanji feeding Luffy the mud-covered lunch, and we see Luffy, who's looking like a print grandma at this point, devour this lunch and says it's great, thanking Sanji for making it. The two would then talk about what's next, with Sanji not wanting to leave still since he has to save his family and he disrespected his captain, which is unforgivable. Luffy this time straight up punches Sanji, telling him to snap back to reality because obviously Luffy and the others are not only going to save Sanji, but do whatever he needs them to do so Sanji can get out of here, because that's what a crewmate does. After a heartwarming moment and the rain clearing up, Sanji and Luffy forgive each other, with the last thing being said to Luffy to Sanji is, "Let's crash the wedding." In conclusion, Rubber Dude and Eyebrow Man's conflict is the best in the series, and if you disagree, I'm robbing your dog.